Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for making the time to join this short webinar to explain the changes coming up from Microsoft. My name is Rich Lamacraft. I work in the Microsoft Product Licensing team here at Softcat. And we wanted to host this webinar today to explain some of the changes which you might be aware of coming from Microsoft on the 1st of October this year. The purpose of this webinar, just to be clear, is to put some clarity around some of the changes that are coming. I think there's been some misinformation in the public domain, so we wanted to clear that up. But it is not to provide concrete recommendations on what you should do right now, but rather to give some guidance on next steps and things that you should be exploring. So, in summary, this is all known as the Modern Commerce Transformation and incorporates three key areas. The first being program, or what we would know as volume licensing agreements. There's a small handful of product changes, and finally some pricing changes. The purpose of this, as we will go into more detail, is to remove any pricing inconsistencies across the programs, and also to provide some clarity on some of the programmatic discounts, by which we mean customer earned discounts. So, to dive into the first area, which is the volume licensing program changes. A key area among this transformation is around all pricing being aligned to a single Web Direct starting price, by which we mean a single starting price for what you would see if you went directly to Microsoft's website online. For example, Office 365 E3 will be listed as $17.60 online. That will be taken as a reference price for everything else moving forward. The reason this has been done is to remove any pricing inconsistencies across programs and products, where we've previously seen some anomalies where some things will be cheaper via Web Direct, more so than you can get via customer and discounts, and some things are significantly out of balance price-wise depending on program. So it's to provide a single starting price of which further customer and discounts can be applied from there. The second change, it will affect open licensing customers, by which we mean MULP customers, so open licensing program, open value perpetual and open value subscription, so the mid-market size customers. Previously, there has been two pricing bands for open customers, no level and level C. No level is typically applicable to customers up to 250 desktops, and level C typically is for 250 and above. From the 1st of October, level C discount will be removed, and only no level pricing will remain. EA pricing, well, EA, MPSA, and Select Price Plus pricing level A will also be removed. The level A band will still exist in name, but the associated programmatic discount attached to it will be removed. So level A customers will effectively be re-leveled to the same as CSP and open customers. The customer earned discounts will still apply on top of that, to be clear. So EA pricing will still attract things like enterprise-wide discounts, so committing to a product company-wide. It will still have platform discounts for taking all three platform products. It's just that starting discount price will be removed. It's worth being very clear that at the moment we can't see any change between the pricing bands from B to D being impacted. It's purely level A. Government pricing will also be aligned to the lowest available commercial price. I won't go into that in too much depth now as a corporate licensing specialist, but if we have any government customers on the phone, I'd urge you to speak to your account manager and any one of the public sector licensing specialists who will be able to run through any changes in more detail. And the final change is for any customers that have enterprise agreements. As you'll likely be aware, when you sign an enterprise agreement, you get something called a customer price sheet, which is a formal offer of pricing from Microsoft. From the 1st of October, customer pricing sheets will include how pricing has been derived. So instead of just having a flat price that has appeared, it will show these customer earned discounts that we've referenced in the point above. So if, for example, $17.60 is a starting price for Office 365 E3, it will show if you've got any enterprise-wide or platform discount associated to that, and any other discounts that might be applied. There are 2 product changes, and all revolve around Windows 10 device licensing. Windows 10 E3 per device, as it is known today, is going to be renamed to Windows 10 Enterprise, which has been pretty much its name until the last couple of years anyway, so not a huge change there. The Windows 10 E5 per device product, which is the one that includes ATP, so Defender ATP, is being discontinued. Again, it's worth being very clear that E5 still exists, but only in a per-user model. So the per-device way of buying ATP is going away and will just exist in per-user. There are some pricing changes in the pipeline. These are coming alongside the release of new products. So running down the list, the on-premise volume licensing versions of Office will be increased, so that's Standard and Professional Plus. The associated productivity servers to those Office tools will also be increased, so Exchange, SharePoint, and Skype for Business. The associated CALs that go with that will also be increased by a similar percentage, likewise Windows Server. It's worth being clear at this stage that we haven't had any pricing preview, but early communications suggest approximately 10% for these products. Remote Desktop Services CAL in the per-device model will be increased to match the per-user pricing, and the Windows Enterprise per device is being increased to match per user. The rationale behind the last 2, in fact behind a lot of these changes, is so that the appropriate product and licensing mechanism is decided upon by merit rather than purely by price. There are a variety of different qualities within each of the procurement methods for licensing, so it's being clear that customers choose ones that meet their needs rather than purely just on a per unit price. On these pricing changes, it's worth being very clear that no online services are being impacted, including the ones that have what Microsoft will know as dual access rights. So for example, Exchange, SharePoint, and Skype for Business server pricing is increasing. Likewise, the associated CAL suites. You can buy those same products using Microsoft 365, so the suite of online suites. You will still gain the rights to Exchange, SharePoint, Skype for Business. You will still have the client access licenses, and that suite is not increasing in pricing. So in terms of who this affects, rather obviously, it affects any customers who don't have a price lock program in place, who plan to buy any of those products listed on the previous slide after the October date. So that's customers who buy through an open agreement or through Select and MPSA and are continuing to purchase those particular on-premise products. It will also affect Open Level C customers. So if you have an Open Level C in place, the point you reach expiry, this will be the last Open Level C agreement you have. So we need to then evaluate the most appropriate way for you to purchase moving forward. Likewise, Level A, MPSA, Select Plus, and EA customers at the point of re-signing. Well, for MPSA, the point the October price file comes into place, there will be a small increase in pricing. And EA customers, the next time you negotiate a new contract and refix pricing, that will be at a different price point as well. Finally, any customers that have purchased Windows 10 Enterprise on a per-device model, there will be a unit cost increase for E3 users, and E5 will no longer be available following the 1st of October. So in terms of what you can and should do moving forward, first off, if there's any areas that are unclear as to how it will impact your estate, speak with your account manager and get a call booked in with them and a member of the Softcat Microsoft team to understand the impact that it will have. It may well be, based on these changes, the impact is minimal if you're an online services customer, and particularly if you're in a level B or above enterprise agreement, you will see no changes. for customers who are in level AEAs or open, or indeed are still running on-premise products, it's worth getting a call in to establish what that impact will be. Next is to understand what requirements you'll have based on your existing estate and also any roadmap information that you have based on your projects. If it's possible to be clear on what you're going to need and purchase that before October to minimize the impact of that, that's possible. That's something that's worth considering. And likewise, enrolling in any pricing lock agreements, again, if it's appropriate. So CSP for online services, or enterprise agreements, or open value subscription, or perpetual company-wide, to lock in pricing before the changes take place. Finally, if you're an enterprise agreement customer with an expiry before the end of June next year, it may be possible to commit to an early renewal, and it might be appropriate to do so. However, there is no one-size-fits-all on this, and I would urge, rather than panic and go into that, to book some time with your account manager and a member of the Microsoft team here to discuss what options are available to you and what the most effective way of moving forward is based on your plans. So that summarizes all of the changes that are coming up.